So it's finished Wolverhampton 1, just 2, Fulham 1. Really good performance today from the boys. Loads of key points to go through, loads of key things to get through. Quickly, the to recap and basically what got us through to the win in the end. So I'm going to start off basically, first off, back four. Someone was suspecting before the game there might be a change in formation. With obviously Dawson was potentially a doubt early in the week. I went to back four. Santi Bueno came in next to Kilman, really strong for today, but I'll talk more about them in a minute. So the change in formation didn't really affect us too much. Obviously, they brought in extra man in midfield and Fraser up front, trying to lead the line a bit, which we needed from the second half of Newcastle, really. Injuries early on absolutely killed us a little bit. We never really got a chance to see what Gary Neal's plan was for today because of the Bellegarde injury. So straight away we changed formation from that after 9 minutes. And I thought particularly when Neto went off just before first half, in the first half, I thought, crikey, where his goal was going to come from second half. I did say at half time to people around me, I said, it's going to be a set piece or it's going to be something amazing, mate. No, that's what we're hoping for. And pretty much that happened. He stepped up second half massively. We knew he must have been told half time the other man's got to try and create something, and he was really good. He pushed further forward in second half, and it was really, really good. The ball in from Sarabia was quality. Totti Gomez, I know he gets a lot of stick on this channel for, particularly for me as well, not always being technically the best footballer in the world. We know his strengths and weaknesses, but he showed his real good technical ability to bring the ball down there and play the ball into 8-0 for that first goal, was really well. And then what I must say is all the subs that came on, big team effort from those. Tommy all did well when he came on. Doherty and Totti all did well when they came on. Made big impacts in the game. It is a team game in football, and particularly that second half, everyone on the team stepped up to be carried. Every man stepped up to the positions, stepped up and did the job for the team, and that's really, really big. I know Gary Owens just said in his press conference then that that's his favourite win of the season, biggest win of the season for him. That's because of the character they showed from the injuries we had, from the setbacks we had in the game. Every player went, right, we're going to win this, we step up, and they went up a level in that second half. And for me, no man represented that more than Mario Lemina. He went further, he was pushed further forward, out of his comfort zone, doing a really good job for the team. He was running at the players, he was holding the ball up, he was battling, he was fighting, he was winning free kicks, he was playing players in. He was absolutely fantastic. The only thing he missed off at the end was his goal to make it 3-0 at the time. But apart from that, he was fantastic. I mean, that's him back to his best. Another key thing I was going to mention before, with Santi Bueno and Kilman, what I really like to say in the back four is both of them stepped further forward. They were defending further up the pitch, particularly Santi Bueno, any ball that bounced foot in the back line. He was running forwards. He was managing to win the ball. They were winning it much higher up the pitch compared to when Dawson's there, and that allows you not to defend so far back. And that impacted the last 10, 15 minutes of the game. Recently in games, we've had to do air and scare defending. It's all been flying to the box. There was a bit of that today, I admit. There was some good tackles and blocks put in, decent couple of saves from Sarr as well. But because we could actually defend higher at the pitch, and we could, when the ball was going out, it wasn't coming back as quickly. It was Lamini was holding it up, or whoever was at the top, Doherty, one out of his headers when they come across the pitch as well. It wasn't bouncing back as quick as it has been in recent weeks, and it was easier for us to see out the game. We could win corners, we could win free kicks and throw-ins at the top end of the pitch. It was so much more rounded performance, and that sort of team spirit we need moving forward. It's going to be a massive week this week with Coventry on Saturday. We've got to try and get as many players fit as possible, assess the injuries, see where we are. And if we perform like that, if we step up like that and demand as a team, I think we'll beat Coventry without the key players we're missing. If everyone steps up, it's going to be a struggle, it's going to be a battle, but I think we can do it. So we'll look forward to Saturday now. Good luck. Hopefully we'll get a good win at home on that one, and I'll catch you on the next one.
Well, Wolves go into 8th position in the Premier League after a really, really important 3 points against Fulham today. A really well-fought 3 points after Plan A went out the window within about 6 or 7 minutes, with Bellegarde going off and Neto pulling up with a hamstring. Gary O'Neill had a lot to think about, and I think he dealt with the issues and the adversity extremely well. I think the first half was sloppy. There was no real quality in either side. I think we were cheap with our giveaways. I think Fulham were equally as cheap. I think the four at the back was a nice experiment, but I don't think it was anything compared to the system that we had in place when we had 5. We were just far too open. I think Santi Bueno and Kilman did okay, but it was apparent that it was unnatural. The gaps were far too wide between the centre-backs and full-backs. Fulham and Molineux were finding their way through our defence far too easily. But we got to half-time. I think O'Neill addressed it wonderfully. I think he made the changes necessary. And, you know, those alterations in tactics worked out really, really, really well in our favour. I think there were some a combination of good tactics and some outstanding performances. 9, 10 out of 10 performances from the likes of Lamina, Ait-Nouri, Gomez. I thought Tommy Doyle was excellent again as well. Really, really impressive second half. I thought we controlled the ball when we had it, controlled it well, moved it nicely, forced Fulham into countless giveaways of possession. We were quick with our counter-attacks. I was really impressed. It was one of those, it was going to be a scrappy game, but it was these games that we've dropped points in, important points, and these are the games that we need to start really winning to stamp our place as a team that's actually fighting for Europe and really has a say in this conversation. So yeah, really, really pleased with the performance overall. Nathan Fraser, good to see him get his Premier League start. I thought he struggled in the first half, and the second, I think he looked quite tired in the second half, but he didn't have a load of help, and we didn't exactly play to his strengths. I think his time will come, but it's not quite yet. But for now, it's good. He's a good option to have. I think he made himself useful. But yeah, overall, really happy. 3 points up into 8th. See what the rest of the teams in the Premier League do now. Cheers for having me on.
Yeah, that is just an absolutely world-class win. At half-time, I would have snapped your hand off for a point after the Bellegarde and Neto injuries. And then somehow Gary O'Neill comes up with some absolute master plan to play Lamina and Ait-Nouri as 9s. And it worked. It just worked somehow. We managed to scrap two goals. One's a deflection, and I'm never gonna take that away, because last week obviously we played Newcastle and they scored some lucky goals from deflections as well. I mean, Semedo shot's probably going a mile wide, and then it ends up getting deflected and goes past Leno. So I'm never upset about it. We need that luck sometimes, but also I thought Totti, when he came on, I've given him some stick. But for me, like, really, really good performance from him today when he came off the bench. I thought he really shored up the defence, didn't look threatened at all, really, and then is instrumental in creating the first goal for us to go 1-0 up. I thought, again, Semedo and Ait-Nouri just absolutely fucking brilliant. Swearing gets you demonetized on Talking Wolves. I'm sorry, Dave, but they deserve it. Like, the performances that those two are consistently putting in every week. I can't remember the last time either of them had a stinker, especially Semedo, who has now earned himself a proper song and deserves it from the fans today. And I hope he appreciated it and also appreciates the love that we're giving back to him for all the effort that he's put in this season, because he's just getting better and better. And I struggle to name right now like a better fullback wing-back pairing in the Premier League than Semedo and Ait-Nouri. They are absolutely fantastic. And I thought Santi Bueno today, coming into the lineup, he's been in and out of the team for quite some time now, and every time he comes in, he's absolutely flawless. Today, again, brilliant. Just made the whole defence, but it was perfect. Apart from like the last-minute lucky goal at the end where Iwobi just seems to score against us no matter what team he's playing for, I thought we were just brilliant. I thought we really dug in. We were world-class today, up against the wall. Like any other team, especially a team in the past, this Wolves team in the past, would have just laid over and gone, you know what, there's next week. No, we decided to stick it out. We got 3 points in the end, and now we're up to, I think, 8th in the league, which is crazy because over the 40-point mark, and if you'd offered me that at the start of the season, I would have snapped your hand off for it. So I'm buzzing. It's absolutely made my weekend for sure. And yeah, I can't wait for next weekend, and hopefully we can get past Coventry, and then we've got a trip to Wembley as well. This season's been an absolute dream, and it's all thanks to Gary O'Neill and his absolutely tactical wonder masterclass, whatever you want to call it. So I think he's gotten his tactics pretty much spot on for 80 to 85% of the games this season. There's only been the odd 10 to 15 where you think, well, he could have done that a little bit better, but no game's going to be perfect. But for me, he's right at the very top of the smartest and best managers that I've seen in a while. So yeah, perfect weekend for me. And hopefully we can get the win again next weekend as well. Let's build some momentum, and then hopefully let's see where we can come past the end of the season. I don't know if 8th gets into Europe or not. Depends on how the other English teams do in the Premier League. My dog goes crazy in the background. He's also celebrating the victory. So I'm going to go celebrate with him. Come on, up the Wolves.
Finish Wolves 2, Fulham 1. What a brilliant second half performance from the lads today.
grit and determination to win the football game after you're down bad from one of your best players going off injured, and then Bellegarde going off injured in the first half as well. Well, both of them in the first half. You kind of get into half time at 0-0 and think this is an uphill battle for Wolves to climb against a very informed Fulham team with everybody back for them, fit and firing. And what I've seen in the second half is nothing short of amazing, fantastic, brutally just better than Fulham today. They may have looked nice for them on the statistics with all their shots, but they've scored one goal in the last second of the game. I think we very much deserved the win today, and I think we deserved the clean sheet on the grand scheme of things, but we were lucky to concede last minute. But the performance from the lads second half is nothing short of amazing. They ran and we created, and we looked like we were attacking with it. Every time we were on the ball, we wanted to go forward, and that's something that we don't always see. When things are against us, we usually sit back and shut up shop, but not this Gary O'Neill side, and him as a manager and as a person taking this football club forward is so crucial for us, because we've got the personnel to do that. I do think the squad is a little short. We do need a couple of squad players to come in and be available, but you know, we're getting to threadbare at the moment, and it is quite worrying. But you can't take away anything from the 11 that played second half, and we should start putting all of our faith into them, because they're going to work hard. They're going to battle. They're going to get you forward. They're going to give you chances, and we're going to score goals. Like, every time we go forward, I feel like we can score goals. Mario Lemina today is probably his best second half in a Wolves shirt I've ever seen. A couple of others, Nelson Semedo as well, João Gomez, even Fraser ran his bollocks off today. Thought Santi Bueno was awesome at the back with Kilman. Totti when he come on, Ryan Nuri as well. They were all good. You can't look at any of them and think that any of them played shit today. And that's what I love about this Wolves team. Everyone's putting in 9 out of 10 each week, and if they're not playing well, they're running their bollocks off, and that's going to take us forward. And moving into next week, which is arguably the biggest game of our season, against Coventry in the quarterfinals next week, we're going to need that. We're going to need that grit and determination next week. So hopefully we can take it in to next week. So yeah, we're on the up, and on the wondrous.
So guys, sorry about the lighting issue and all of that about the video, but I'm currently out at the moment. It's finished Wolves 2, Fulham 1, and that first half performance wasn't great, was it? Wasn't a great watch, both performance wise and resulting in the injuries and all of the things that went against Wolves. But against all of the odds in the second half, they come out and they pressed so much better. Everything that was missing from the first half, it just looked like that they were revitalised in the second. I don't know if something Gary said or it was a tactical change or anything really. It was just they just went for it a lot harder and just demanded the ball, and once they got the ball, they really wanted to do something with it and frustrate Fulham. And exactly what we weren't doing in the first half, we ended up doing really well in the second, and ultimately that's what won us the game, because the players like Lemina, who just doesn't stop running and has the energy of like the Energizer rabbit, it's just ridiculous. I don't know how he does it, mate. I honestly, he must be on some performance enhancing drugs or something, because the guy just never stops. He never ever stops, and he just played all over the pitch. And there was a lot of players today that did that. And I know that they came out in the media recently saying that Gary O'Neill gives them the freedom to do whatever they want, really, as long as they stick to at least a position that obviously doesn't hurt Wolves if on a counter or anything. They're ready to run back if they needed. But you saw that today in the attacking sort of prowess of Wolves. Like, as soon as we won the ball up high, players like Aït-Nouri, Semedo, that shouldn't really be where they were in the centre of the pitch, were there and ready. And that is what won us the game. First of all, we get a free kick from exactly that, players getting further up the pitch, creating issues and winning free kicks up the pitch. And a great free kick to the far post. Totti does really well, brings it down under a spell, and then Totti does really well, brings it under a spell. God, that's a lovely rhyme, wasn't it? he basically puts it on a plate really for Aït-Nouri, who absolutely smashes it into the back of net. It's 1-0. And against the odds, from that first half, Wolves looked great in the second, and basically that's how the match panned on, really. We looked good on the press. We defended admirably. We started as a back four today, which I'm not sure whether it worked or not, really. I feel like it nullified Fulham because they set up in a similar fashion, but don't think it created enough chances, and I don't think we looked particularly as comfortable as we did with having that extra centre half. So it's hard to tell whether it would have worked based on the injuries that happened, but as a back five we looked so much better. And the second goal comes from Semedo being in an area where he shouldn't be, but you know what, no one's caring, because he gets very very fortunate with a deflection, and it's in as an own goal. But we'll take them all season, won't we, really, as Wolves fans? We don't care how it goes in the net as long as the scores in our favour at the end of the game. And today that's what we've got. We've got 2-0, we've got 3 points, we're 8th in the table. We've got some injuries, let's talk about those. Neto doesn't look very good. It's a different leg for his hamstring as well, which is a very, very hard thing to see. Again, him pulling himself up, asking to be subbed off, and Bellegarde in the same sort of fashion. Apparently, though, the injuries aren't as severe as they've been in the past, but they're still going to be out some games, and very important ones to come. So it's all touch and go, really, in the medical room. I'm sure at the moment for Wolves, and I know fans have come out and complained about the fact that these players are getting too many minutes and everything. But what more is Gary O'Neill to do if they're getting cleared by a medical staff? They're getting cleared by evidence of scans and everything to say that these players are ready for a football match. If you don't play them, then it's just silly, because you should be playing your top players against Premier League opposition to win 3 points and put us in the contention for Europe. And also the same could be said for the following Saturday to come. We've got to play our strongest team to be able to get it over the line against Coventry. We can't play a weak side against Coventry, even though they're a lower league opposition. We've got to go strong. So I don't really like how people have been coming out and saying stuff about the fact that we're doing this sort of thing, but it's got to be done, guys. At the end of the day, like, we've got to play our best side, and if they're cleared by the medical staff, then they're cleared by the medical staff, and that's all there is to it, But yeah, guys, what a win. Massive win today. Let's get another one against Coventry, and let's get our passports ready. Let's get excited. Do you know what I mean? Come on, boys.